just going to run through the 9 questions we shared in the past 3 weeks. Yes, that's true. Instagram posts are not always real. People need to know this. People really need to know this. Don't believe everything you see. Besides the fact that it can be edited, it also is not a true representation of what is going on in their lives. All right. Many people, as a matter of fact, take so many pictures but post just 1 or 2, the best of the best, online. And then you see that one and you think that that's a representation of what's going on in their lives, but it may just be wrong. All right, so please don't be deceived. Don't be moved. Don't let your heart quake and shake when you see all of those kind of things. All right, Jenny, I'm coming to your questions just now. But in the past 3 weeks, we looked at more like relationship health questions. Questions you can ask yourself to check how your relationship is doing. Okay, the first one was the purpose question. Where are we going with this relationship? Where exactly are we going? You and your spouse, are you on the same page? Have you agreed on where exactly you're doing in this relationship? Are you on the same page? If you're not, then that's a check for you. The other one is the trust question. Do you trust each other completely and totally? You see, and we said trust happens over time. You don't trust suddenly, okay? And trust is broad. You may trust someone in one aspect, does not mean you automatically trust them in every other area of your life. Somebody might be a truthful person, okay, but then very financially careless, not prudent with finances, okay? You see, another person might be prudent with finances, but cannot take his eyes or her eyes off someone else's property. He's a thief, you see? So, so the fact that you trust somebody in one area does not mean that automatically it applies to everything. Or the popular one, because the person is a Christian brother or sister. You see the way they pray in tongues and you say anointing, fire. This one is full of the Holy Ghost. Hey, calm down. Okay, might be full of the Holy Ghost, but has not yet dealt with those personal bad habits. Okay, so you don't want to just trust so that you don't want to just apply trust from one area to every other area. Oh, she's a Christian sister. I did not think she would do like that. Or he's a Christian brother, is my leader in church, or is my mentor. I did not think that he would also have sexual urges. Sorry for you, he's a human being. All right. So much for that. So trust, it's a big deal. You can go back on the previous sessions and just catch up with all of these things. The mutual respect questions. Is there mutual respect? Do we value each other's opinions and values, and principles? The communication question. How free are we to talk about anything and everything? And then do we understand each other easily, or are we always quarreling over what is said? Okay. The individuality question. Who have you become in this relationship? Have you lost yourself, because you're trying to please somebody? Have you picked up values that you would have had any business with simply because you're trying to please somebody and to be accepted in their sight? You want to check that, okay? Also, how regularly do you have misunderstanding? Are you always quarreling? I've heard people say that in their marriage, in their relationship of maybe 2 years, they've spent more than 1.5 years quarreling inside the relationship. The question is, what are you still doing there if you're always quarreling? It is that same experience you would translate to your marriage. And then you go about saying that marriage is a terrible thing. It's not easy. People are wicked. But meanwhile, you had all the opportunities through your experience in the relationship to, make a right choice. If you can't solve the problem, you get out of the relationship. You must not be there. Okay. But then, you see, so how regularly do you have misunderstanding? That's a question of harmony, and compatibility. Okay. How easily do we resolve conflict? All right. And then how unified are your financial goals? Are you on the same page financially? Are you planning towards the same thing? Or this one has these plans to the west, this one has these plans to the east, are you on the same page? And the final question was, how do you relate with your in-laws? Okay, because I tell people that when you get married to someone, you're not just getting married to that person, you're getting married to that person's family also. Now, not that they're going to be living in the house with you, but there's a new relationship between you and this person's family. Okay, so if you cannot have a good relationship with his or her family members, you also want to be careful about that place you're going into. All right. That said, let me jump straight into the questions for today. All right. And let me read this one. How do you know a guy is serious about you? What are the things he does in a relationship that will make you know that will make you know for sure that he is serious about you? Thank you so much for that question. At what point can one ask these questions? So okay. I'll take that one next. Okay. Let me just answer the first question, and then I'll take the second one. Good. So how do you know a guy is serious about you? Very good question. Thank you. And this is very important, because we're in an age and a time where it seems that all a man wants from a beautiful young lady is her body. Okay, in some cases, her money. Okay, so it looks like you don't know who is serious, you don't know who to trust, you don't know if he's just another game boy or playboy, just wants to have his piece of you and bounce. Okay, so how do you know if he is serious? First of all, I will ask you, do you know what you want? All right, do you know what you want? All right, do you have a sense of personal awareness and vision for yourself? What do you want to do with yourself in the next 5 years? When you close your eyes and visualize, when you think of yourself down the line in the future, what kind of person do you see? What kind of person do you imagine? How am I saying all of this? Because this is actually very important in knowing what kind of person that you can fit with. All right. So if you already have a healthy self-awareness and a sense of vision and purpose for your life, it will also be very easy if this person is nothing compared, or nothing, not compared now, if it's nothing, in sync with what your vision is for yourself. Okay. In other words, if I get married to this person, can I still express these areas of my life? Is there still a chance I can still live out my dreams to the full? Is there a chance that, I can still be the person that God has made me to be and I'll be happy? Do you know what things make for your joy and fulfillment in life? If you get married to this person, for example, is he going to cut you off everything that is important to you? If you're somebody who likes to do business, you like to buy and sell, is he someone who's going to tell you, no way, my wife cannot be involved in buying and selling. I don't want my wife interacting with people. People will now be owing you money. You'll now be pursuing them. No, I don't want that. Meanwhile, that is your passion. You see, so is he going to be able to support you? Is he going to be able to identify with all of those areas of you? Does he believe the same things that you believe? What are your values like? Are your values the same? Okay, are they the same? What are your spiritual values? I always start with that. What do you believe in and who do you believe in? Do you believe in God? Okay, do you believe in Jesus Christ, or do you believe in any other medium, in quotes, as a means of getting to God? What exactly do you believe in? And then do you guys believe the same thing? Okay, now both of you may be Christians, but even at that, are your doctrines harmonized? In other words, do you just believe the same things about Christ, about Christianity? Okay, does one person believe it's okay to pray in tongues and the other one says, God forbid, those people that say all those gibberish, something is wrong with their head? Does one person think it's okay to pay tithe in church and the other person says, God forbid, all these pastors are just chopping your money, they're just deceiving you? Okay, so do you believe the same thing? Do you believe in giving? Do you believe in prayers? Do you believe in being born again? Do you believe in right living? Do you believe in character? What do you guys believe in? All right, Jenny, I hope you're following what I'm saying. Okay, so if you have checked all of these things and then the person checks all those boxes, okay, another key thing you want to know is, how regularly does he speak to you about a future with you? Now, this is very important. If a guy wants to get married to you, he, trust me and take my word on this, if he wants to get married to you, he will be obsessed with telling you about his plans, about himself, about where you guys are going, about, he will be talking about it. How regularly does he talk about it? Does he talk about his future with you? When he talks about himself, do you even see yourself inside? Does he factor you into his plans for life? Okay, when you're sharing about, 2023 and he's telling you everything he wants to do in 2023 and 2024, do you see yourself? Do you feature anywhere? You see, this is very important. All right. If he's interested in you, he will be talking to you about himself, about his plans. As a matter of fact, he just can't help it. See, he can't help because he has seen that one he wants to pour himself into, that one he wants to, to build his world around. He will be obsessed with telling you about his life and his plans for you and for himself, because he wants your buy-in. He wants you to trip for him. He wants you to be in. He wants you to know that, man, this is where we're going and we're going to do this together. Do you understand? Another thing you want to check, has he spoken about you to the people that are important in his life? All right. Has he spoken about you, whoever those people are? Maybe his father, mother, maybe his boss in the office, maybe his pastor, his mentor, his best friend. The important people in his life, important people or not useless people, because some people have different camps that hang around them. Okay, not the useless ones, but the important ones in his life, has he spoken to you, to them about you? All right. Okay. So you want that? That's very important. Okay. Is he willing to show you off when the need arises, or is he coding? Is he is he telling you that let's make it coded? As a matter of fact, it's one of the questions that somebody even asked. I'll talk about it in just a minute. Is he talking about you freely and excitedly? Is he showing you forth, or is he telling you, you know what, let's tone this down a bit, let's be discreet? That was actually the question someone asked, about dating someone, and then the person says, and let's be discreet, don't even tell your parents, don't tell your siblings, don't tell anybody, that we're in this relationship. Let's just keep it, coded just between me and you. I don't like my matter out there in the open. Oh, really? Really? Okay. Now, is he free to talk about you and to introduce you to the people that matter in his life? Okay. If he is telling you the relationship should be discreet, I'm concerned, and he really wants to get married to you. Okay, I'm concerned about that, because there might just be other people occupying that space. There might be other people that he's putting on the line too. All right. But if he's sure he wants to get married to you, then he'll talk about you, he'll put you out there. That's if he's that kind of person. Some people are not the posting type. But my point is, to people that matter, you will not be coded. You will be known. Do you understand that? Okay. So those are quite some points. And maybe any other person can drop a few points there. But I hope you found those points helpful. All right. So those are some ways you can know if this person is serious about you, or if the person is just hit and run. And then when you talk about the future, how excited is he, to participate in that conversation? Does he just excuse it? When you bring up conversation about marriage, does he just excuse it? Does he keep giving you indefinite dates, indefinite statements? Don't worry, let's see how it goes. I'm just praying about it. What's that one? If God say you are my wife, then you will marry. If God does not say you are not my wife, then will not marry. All those, they say I should stop saying useless and rubbish. But many times that's what it is. All those nonsense talk, if those are the kind of things you're hearing, then you want to be concerned and you want to ask some more questions. Let me move on at this point. So you asked the second question, that if you're asking all these questions I was talking about, that will it not make you look like you're desperate? Now, let me say this in response to that. What do you think relationship really is? You see, many people need to redefine their concept of relationship, of dating, as they call it. Okay, personally, I tell people, what I teach, what I recommend, my principle is that don't get into a relationship with someone if you don't think you can get married to the person. That's one. Two, don't get into a relationship with someone if marriage is not in view in the nearest future, in the near possible future. Okay, so if both of you are 15 and 16 and you say, the way I like this boy, I can marry him, but marriage is not visible in the near future, that is just, don't waste your emotions. Don't start building up unnecessary experiences that would mess things up for you in your life. You don't need to be in a relationship at that point. You cut that one. All right. Now, if both of you are of age, yes, but then you're talking about marriage and he tells you 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. Meanwhile, you want to get married already, like yesterday. You see, you guys are not on the same page. Okay, so for me, relationships should have marriage as the purpose. If it's not marriage that is the purpose of that relationship, you guys are going to be hurting yourselves because you'll be playing with your emotions. Relationships make you very vulnerable. You're exposing a part of yourself, your heart, a sensitive part of you. You're exposing it to somebody who isn't serious. He's going to make a mess of it. He's just going to treat your heart the way he likes it. And you don't want that for yourself. Okay, so my point is, when you are in a relationship with somebody, you are discussing. You guys spend time discussing. Yes, you can, of course, hang out and go to nice places. But my point is, you spend more time in interaction and in non-romantic activities. I emphasize non-romantic activities. Why? Because that's when your head will be clear enough to participate in these conversations, or to have these conversations, to know what exactly you're asking or what you're looking for. Unfortunately, in many cases, the relationship starts with romance. It starts with sex. When you have started with that, it complicates your thought process. It makes it not easy and not straightforward anymore for you to be able to process certain things. Why? Because your emotions right now will be the ones leading you. Okay, sex has a way of making you think that you and someone are really close and you guys are really bonded, because that's what it is. It's a bonding activity. Okay, and when you do that and you feel all those emotional highs, those are just hormones being secreted in your body, that make you feel like, oh, I love this guy so much. Oh, he's just a part of my life. Those are hormones. Why? Because you triggered them. They are there for that purpose. Okay, so it does not mean that you guys would make a great couple. It does not mean that you guys are compatible at all. There are many people who are only compatible with the people they're in relationship with on the bed. That is the only point of compatibility. After that, everything is quarrel, misunderstanding, nothing. They don't see the same. They don't speak the same things. They don't see the same thing. No, but only on the bed that they're compatible. If that's the case, then it's a wrong foundation for marriage, and it's a wrong foundation for a relationship. Why? Because it has a way of blinding you from seeing the real things you should be looking out for. So to answer the question straight away, if you're asking these questions, no, it won't look like you're desperate, because that is exactly what you should be doing through the period of the relationship. Okay, and by the way, you're not having an interrogation session where you tell the person, oh, yeah, sit down there, who are you? What are your plans? But no. It's in the casual conversations. A lot is revealed when people talk. A lot is revealed. Okay? People actually share what their values and what their principles are from their conversation. You see? So because you're looking for something, you know exactly what you're looking for. With every opportunity to gist with that person, you're checking, it's answering a question, you're checking something. You don't have to go outright and be asking questions like it's a what do you call it now, interrogation session or interview session. No. But from every conversation, you are observing, you're seeing the body language, he's making points, he's saying things, and you are picking your lessons from that. Okay, I hope that has done justice to that question. All right, let me take the next one. When a guy sends you X-rated pictures and videos, what's the message he's passing? We reside in different countries, and I know we are sexual beings. Should I be concerned? I take it that you're asking this question because you are actually concerned. I don't know about every other thing you guys discuss, but if this one ticks the alarm button, the caution in your heart or in your mind, then it means that yes, it is something you should be concerned about. Okay, so the purpose of sending you X-rated pictures and videos, of course, is to get you to the same frequency where he is to check your acceptability of this thing. When he sends it to you, do you guys vibe together? Oh my God, oh wow. Are you enjoying viewing, consuming the content together? Or are you telling him, I'm sorry, please, I don't like to see such on my DM anymore. I don't like to, don't share such with me. Okay. He's doing that to check your level of acceptance. You see, and that's one thing many guys do. Many times a guy will check how far can she go, let me try this first. Is she okay with it? I'm just going to put my hands on her waist and then it will slide down to her buttocks. Let me see, is she okay with it? He's just going to check you out gradually. He's going to see your level. I call it your levels of permission. Okay. So a guy is going to be checking, what you're cool with. Okay. Is she interested in taking alcohol? Is she interested in getting tipsy? Is she interested in X-rated pictures and videos like you said? When he's doing all of these, he's checking his level of, or rather your level of permission, what you can accept and what you cannot accept. Okay, so if you don't like it, if you think you're not comfortable with it, then you should let him know that you're not comfortable with it. Okay, because again, like I said, you see, when you start getting sexually involved, what happens is you're actually disturbing your thinking process, your ability to make genuine and right decisions. You're altering it. You're altering with you're manipulating your thinking process, because where you should have seen certain bad behaviors, certain bad characters, you will just overlook them because the sex is good. I mean, because he's good in bed, or we enjoy those moments. We think we are soulmates, because the experience is just so great. But then there are red flags, waving at you in the face, but you would ignore them. All right. So that's what I'll have to say. if he's sending you this, you're asking this question because you are actually concerned, and yes, you should be concerned. So if your values don't allow that, feel free to communicate it with him, okay, and see what he does or has to say about it. Again, this is something you guys should discuss. Okay, because if you're not comfortable with it, let him know you're not comfortable. Now, if he's not comfortable with the fact that you're not comfortable with it, then, it's a clear sign that your values are not in sync. If he's angry that you're not participating, I've heard of people who break up with their girlfriends because she doesn't want to have sex or she doesn't want to get involved in certain sexual behaviors with them. Okay, there are people who are not in the same countries and they call it sexting, you want to sex chat or you want to do video erotic calls, and the girl is not comfortable with it. You see, the other party, whether the girl or the guy is not comfortable with it, and then the people say, well, you know what, I don't think we can get ahead with this relationship. You're going to be boring. You don't know how to do the exciting and the fun stuff. Hey, if what the other person considers fun stuff is not fun to you, then you guys are not compatible. On that level, your values are not the same. That's why I asked in the relationship health questions. One of the questions there is, what are you becoming? Who are you becoming? Okay, are you having to sacrifice the values you grew up with all your life simply because you are dating somebody? Are you having to pick up other things that on a normal day you would not pick up simply because somebody says, I love you and I want to get married to you? Okay, so if you are not comfortable with it, communicate your discomfort to him and see how he takes it. Okay, if he has a problem with that, then you guys probably are not on the same page. Okay, but if he understands and apologizes and doesn't do it again, but for me, if I were you, I would even be concerned that in the first place, you're sharing these materials with me. It tells a lot about the kind of person that you are. Because for goodness sake, if he's sharing them with you, that means he's consuming them. And when you consume these materials, what do? They stir up desires in you. You want to do what you're seeing. I don't know how you just watch these things and it doesn't have any effect on you. No, that's not the way the mind works. Okay, it registers in the mind. Okay, it begins to give you ideas, begins to give you thoughts. You want to try it, you want to do it. Okay, so if he's sending this kind of materials to you, then it's telling you that this is the kind of person who wants to have a sexual relationship with you. Okay, so such person has already revealed himself from the beginning. Some people try to play around and dance around and, just to find a way to meander and get to that point. But some people outrightly tell you, hey, this is what I want, man. Are you in or not? Okay, so the question is ultimately yours. Are you really in or not? What exactly are your values? Okay, but take note, when we tell people about not getting sexually involved, take note that it's not just about, we're not trying to, I don't know how to say this, right? Nobody's trying to be good or to form good boy or good girl. And it's not just about religion, but I want you to understand that the instructions that God gave in the Bible, right, are for your good. Those instructions are not for him. Those instructions, if you like, do anything with yourself. See, it does not affect God. It does not affect Christianity generally. It's you. So those instructions are for you. Okay, so when we teach and encourage people, no, don't get sexually involved, it's not because we're trying to say, hey man, don't have fun in your life. No, what we're trying to say is, see, there's a time for everything. This time right now, right here, is not it. You don't want to start opening up this jar just yet. Many people open it and are never able to close it up, and it just brings along with it a lot of unexpected and unwanted experiences. Okay, so it's for your own good. All right. Many times people start getting sexually involved in relationships they had no business being in, and at the end of the day, they struggle there. It affects their lives. See, time will fail me to start enumerating the impact that a bad relationship can have in somebody's life. It can affect you in every way. For people who are still in school, their grades can start going down. Some people lose their minds. Some people get confused. Some people run mad. Some people, lose their lives. Some people can drink sniper because their boyfriend is cheating with their best friend. Some people, there's a lady stabbed her boyfriend to death because he cheated on her. You see, if you were not in that relationship, would you be in the police custody right now because you stabbed somebody because he cheated on you? Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, so when we give these instructions and these guidelines, it's because God wants to preserve your life. God has a great plan for your life and wants to preserve your life. But many times we are overwhelmed by our emotions, by our immediate desires, what we want to enjoy, in quotes. Meanwhile, some of those things we think are enjoyment may just be what's going to destroy the person's life. Okay, so you want to pay attention to that. If this is the kind of person he is, always sending you X-rated materials, then it tells you what his interests are and it tells you what exactly he wants. And if what he wants is not what you want, then you don't have to be in that relationship. Please take note, you don't have to accept a relationship if your values are not in sync. You don't have to. No matter who the person is, nice, takes care of you, does all these good things, but you don't have to get in a relationship if you don't feel the person. All right, so thank you. You actually ignore and discuss other things. Yes, thank you. That's a great thing to do. Okay, thank you so much for your questions. I wish you have more. Feel free to drop them. If any other person has more questions, feel free to drop them in there. You know, I mean, it makes it more real, and because these are real situations, these are real issues, you know, and by asking your question, somebody else is learning from that question. All right. Now, someone says this question came in earlier. I started dating a guy 5 months ago and told him from the beginning. Oh, this one I had already spoken about it actually. Told him from the beginning that I'll only get in a relationship if marriage was the goal. He accepted. However, he has said we have to be discreet about the relationship. I can't even tell my people and I can't meet his people yet. Okay, I spoke about this earlier when responding to your first question, that if he wants it to be entirely coded, then you may be concerned because there might be other people. If not, if he's genuinely interested in you, then he would be talking to you and talking to other people, important people in his space about you. Okay, this is the other question. This one says, my fiancé is a good guy and he loves me so much, but his family members, particularly his mom and sisters, do not support us getting married. What should I do? Let me read it again. My fiancé is a great guy or good guy. He loves me so much, but his family members, particularly his mom and sisters, do not support us getting married. What should I do? Wow, this is serious. Okay. Excuse me. Now, remember I said at the beginning that when you get married to someone, the relationship is not just you and that person. That person also has a family he or she is coming from. By getting married to him or her, you are now joined to that family. You guys now become family. All right. Now, if the people who are going to be family with you don't want you, don't like you, don't accept you, how do you think they will relate with you when you get married? How do you think they will relate with you? If right now you're dating their son, their brother, and they don't like you, his mother doesn't like you, his sisters don't like you, how do you think they will treat you in the marriage? And listen, these are your husband's family members, so you can't throw them away. You can't cut him or cut them off him or cut him off them, you know, unless your own witchcraft is next level, you know. If not, you're not going to separate him from his family unless your own wickedness is just top notch and, you know, you people have a realm where you connect. If not, I mean, these are the people that are in his life. So if they are not friends with you, maybe you want to find out what exactly is the reason why they have not given their blessing to this relationship. What exactly is the reason why they don't like you and they don't want you to get married to their son or brother? Okay, you want to find that out. Okay, if the reason is something that can be worked on, then we'll direct all energies there. If they think maybe you're not a good person, then you direct all energies to convince them that you are good. All right, you know, but there are certain reasons that go really deep down and might not just be easy to change just at surface level. For example, there are people who have these strong biases against certain tribes. You mentioned that tribe, God forbid, over their dead body. No way. They don't want to hear, they don't want to see, they will never give their blessing. How far can you go in convincing such a person? How far can you go? It might just be deeper than you think. But you see, another thing that I keep telling people, your husband or the guy that wants to marry you, how far is he willing to fight for you to convince his people that you are worth it and they should give you a chance? How far, how much energy is he putting into the fight to convince his mom and his siblings? How much energy is he putting in? Because if he's there telling you, don't worry, we'll be fine, we'll manage it one kind, and he is not addressing this issue head on, it will frustrate you in the marriage. They will embarrass you, make a mess of you, and he cannot do anything about it. He will not do anything about it. And you just feel like you've gotten yourself in one chance. Okay, so if his mom and sisters don't support the marriage, you want to find out why. And if it's something you can walk around, then walk around it so that you can win their hearts. Okay, but if they are headstrong and it's those kind of strong biases that don't leave suddenly, then and then if he is not willing to put in the fight to convince them and to, to win them over, to get their blessing and support, then I will advise you to please enjoy whatever nice friendship you guys enjoyed while it lasted, but look for the person that will be your husband, because you don't want to take your two legs and walk into the lion's den. When you get pregnant and you have a child, who is going to come and be with you? His mom is going to come around. Yes, your mom too will come around, but his mom too will come around. Do you want them to just to make life hell for you? Do you want his sisters to come to the house and disrespect you? Do you want to start fighting with his sisters? Do you understand? It's way complex. Do you understand? So if they don't like you, please advise yourself and go to where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. It's a life principle. Go to where people love you. Go to where they are happy to receive you. And this is what I tell people. If you're struggling in one particular relationship, it's not working, everywhere, problem, they don't like me, calm down. See, this is just one. Somewhere else, somebody is going to love you. Somewhere else, somebody is going to say, you know what, those same qualities that those guys thought made you unacceptable are the qualities I just love. Somebody says she talks too much. You say, I just love you because you talk too much. Oh, every time I see you talking, I just fall in love with you. Do you understand? So don't limit yourself because of this immediate experience you're having right now. There's a whole world out there. Dr. Mike Murdock says what you're willing to walk away from determines what God will bring to you. And that is the truth. Many times you would not see other opportunities if you are stuck on this place where you are. But what you're willing to walk away from determines what God will bring to you. There are many people, I've shared this over and over again. There are certain people who certain opportunities have opened up to them from the moment they walked out of a useless relationship in their life. It was just like, it's like I've been blinded all this while. So there's a whole new world out there. Oh, wow. You see, opportunities start clicking, doors start opening, and you're wondering, how come I didn't see all these things all the while? Because you were in a cocoon. You see? So, if they don't like you, please, and you've done everything you can, it's not working, you can't win them over, you can't convince them, please cut your losses and get out of that relationship. Somebody else will love you, somebody else's family will love you, and will be so delighted that you are in their lives, and you will have a peaceful experience with that family. Okay, so that's to answer that question. Let me read a comment here. Someone says, I've been in that situation before. The guy's sisters openly insulted you, you see, and you ran for your life. Thank you for taking that decision. You didn't like the vibe you got from his folks, okay? And in fact, his dad and mom had a quarrel because of you. Can you imagine? And you are not yet married. You're not yet inside that family. Then you will be causing problems like this for them, and then they'll be having problems because of you. And then one day they will transfer all the problems and put on your head. No way. Run for life. Okay, so if you're the one who asked that question, please run for life. All right? Run for life. Run. Somebody else would love you. Another question here. Can you leave a relationship of 2 years because you believe her friend is more of who you are looking for than who you are with? Oh, wow. Thank you so much for this question. So I guess now this is the guy who is saying that he's in a relationship with a lady, but has discovered that the person he's dating, her friend, is more of the one he's looking for than this current one. Child, this one get a CBO. So you're seeing somebody. Now this person has a friend who you consider more wife material or more your spec than the one you're seeing. You see, this thing can cause problem. Now, 2 years, yeah. Now, in these 2 years, I'm sure that, well, I can't say I'm sure, but what kind of experience have you had these 2 years with this lady? Has it been something great? Is she a good person? Can you get married to her and it will work? Okay, from what you have had these 2 years, all right? Or have you guys been cat and mouse? And then Now you're seeing somebody else who you think will be better. Okay, I'm asking these questions because if you eventually, or when you eventually get married, you will definitely see other people that look like they are more of what you want than the one you are with. You will definitely see other people that will catch your interest, you will definitely see other people. All right, so we need to be sure that the basis on which you want to live this relationship is beyond anything superficial. Okay, if she's been a great person, you guys have had a wonderful relationship, your values are in sync, everything is in sync, then I will tell you, why do you have to leave simply because somebody else looks like she's better? Looks like, don't forget, it always looks greener on the other side, okay, until you're there. Okay, but then if this relationship has not really made sense, and now you've seen her friend who is such a great person. Okay, but then you're going to wonder, if her friend is such a great person and she isn't, how come they are friends? I mean, what parts do they meet? What part are they on the same page? Because if the difference is so clear, then you're wondering, I mean, what kind of basis for close friendship is this? All right. If this relationship is not working, but it's going to work with her friend, well, like I tell people, relationship is not marriage. If it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Sorry. If it will happen that it's her friend that you people will not get in a relationship with, of course, she'll be heartbroken. She'll feel bad. But sometimes it is what it is. All right. Sometimes it is what it is. All right. I'm not encouraging anybody to break somebody's heart, but for goodness sake, if you're in a relationship with A and it's not working, and another person comes around that is going to work, you will naturally migrate to the one that will work. Okay. Somebody will be hurt. Yes, I'm sorry in advance, but come on, you owe it to yourself, to have a happy life, a happy marriage. Very importantly, you owe it to yourself. And I tell people, you don't marry out of pity. You don't say, let me not leave this relationship now because I go pay now more. She will really be hurt. I don't know how she will take it. Or sometimes it's the guys, in fact, it's the guys, they'll start crying, oh my God, you're leaving me, I'll kill myself, I'll take my life, oh my God, no, if you leave me, Gary Entire Express, can we jump me, or I will jump the 10 mainland bridge? They start telling you all those kind of things, Listen to me, if you're a young lady listening to me, and a guy is telling you all of that, that is the reason you should leave him. That is the reason you should leave him. If he says he's going to kill himself, before you leave him, go and report him to, call the authorities, so that before he carries out any harm to himself or to the people around him, please call the authorities in. You have to escalate that situation. Let somebody not go and take his life and say it's because of you. But my point is, such a person is not emotionally mature. It's not the right material for you. Such a person will be abusive of you in that relationship. Oh yes, I said so. Okay, so if he's telling you that, oh, my life will stop making sense, or my life, I will take my life if you don't want to marry me anymore, that's just pure manipulation. You should get out of that relationship. It's not a good one. Don't get confused. Don't start crying and say, oh my God, he's so in love with me. It's a lie. You will regret it later. All right. I don't even know how I deviated, but let me see. Did I sufficiently answer that question? You don't stay in a relationship out of sympathy. I think that's the point I was trying to make. You don't get married to somebody out of sympathy. If it's not working, it's not working. But if it's working and then you see somebody else who you think is better, I want you to know that please stay with the one you already have. And that's what makes for marital infidelity, because sometimes people who are already married now see that, it's like this other person for sweet pass or go make sense pass. Meanwhile, you have already made commitment to somebody. That is what love is. Love is that commitment. That commitment that makes you stay with the one you have chosen to stay with, irrespective of any other person coming around. And you also have to discipline yourself, because most times it starts from inside. It's what you're telling yourself. The Bible says in James that everyone is tempted when they are drawn by their own lust. When you are in a marital relationship with somebody, keep your eyes there. Don't be in relationship with A and your eyes are roaming to and fro the earth looking for the next sketch that we pass and check if that one is better than your own. If you have found one, stay there. Do you understand? Because that is why people get into problems. People make mistakes that way. You're seeing somebody who is a serious person and the relationship is a serious one, but your eyes are still checking the other one. It's like, this one go, no, don't do that. When you do things like that, your eye is not single. Your focus is not single. It's not, and it's going to affect your commitment to that relationship. Okay, so I've said so much. All right. If you're in a relationship with somebody and it's working, please stay there. Stay there. All right. Somebody said, what if the girlfriend's friend doesn't want you? Oh, you will lose both ways, you see? So you now lose your own relationship and still lose the one you thought was now going to work, you see? So thank you for adding that point. Yeah. Someone said you need God. Thank you guys for your comments. I mean, you're really keeping it real. But that's the truth, okay? Many times, this is what makes people jump from relationship to relationship, because you're seeing someone and you think that somebody else is going to be better for you. What I would ask you is, before you saw that person, were you already contemplating leaving this relationship? Or is it that one you saw now that is making you to have ideas? Take note, all that glitters is not gold, and it always looks greener on the other side. By the time you get into a relationship with that one you think is the real one, oh, that's when you now remember that parable, that saying that you never know what you have until you lose it. You now start running back to answer your first one that, oh, it was the devil, it's something enter my head, something cover my eye, and you start begging, oh, take me back into your life. If you start kneeling down, harassing the girl up and down, meanwhile, it was you who spoiled it in the first place. Okay, so let's be wise, let's be guided. I hope I didn't miss any question up there. Okay, I have some other ones here. Oh, this one is quite a serious one. Somebody needs to let me read this. This one said, my sister's husband keeps hitting on me. My sister's husband is hitting on me. He keeps flirting with me and wants to visit whenever he's in town. Should I tell my sister? What should I do? Now, this is serious. My sister's husband is hitting on me. He keeps flirting with me and wants to visit when he's in town. Should I tell my sister? What should I do? This is very real. In fact, I hear these situations quite a lot. A family member, a married man is tripping for his wife's best friend or his wife's friends or his wife's colleagues or his wife's sister or his wife's cousin. I mean, that's quite irresponsible. That's quite irresponsible, quite painful. If you're the guy, I take God beg you. Stop that bad behavior, because you will destroy your marriage. You will destroy your marriage. What will happen if your wife finds out this bad behavior of yours? Okay, some people don't even bloody care, as a matter of fact. I will tell you, but see, let me tell you the truth. The reason I'm doing these teachings is to prevent you from getting into some kind of situations. Don't go and marry rubbish in the name of husband or wife. That's why we're having all this talk, because to say the truth in this space, all right, I just choose to rather help people prevent certain things from happening in marriage than get into the problem and start looking for help up and down, come and save me. Sometimes it's easier to get it right before you get in. All right. So why am I saying this? Now, so that you don't marry that kind of useless, forgive me, that kind of man that is pursuing other people around his wife. Okay. But if you're the one whom your sister's husband is hitting on you, I think the first thing you're supposed to do is sever any connection with that man. Cut it off, as in block his lines, don't take his calls, have no conversation with him. Don't. If your sister is even inviting you to come over for 2 weeks holiday, tell her that something came up. You cannot make it. Why? Because you know what danger you're running away from. And for goodness sake, it's not very easy for you to just go and tell your sister that, do you know your husband is the way your husband is looking at me? Your husband, see the text he sent me. See, your husband is toasting me. You can't go and do that because you don't want to spoil or destroy somebody else's marriage. By the way, what if you go and do that and your sister change it for you and say, it's a lie, you're the one that wants to sleep with my husband. You want to steal my husband from me. Or the man denies it and say, your sister, she has been the one seducing me because I did not agree that she's trying to... Do you understand? So these things can be sensitive and, just one kind sometimes. What I think you should do is just sever that relationship. Don't take his calls, don't take his text messages, block his number, have nothing to do with him. If you can't block him, don't respond to his messages. Let him keep sending. And while he's sending, for your own good, you can just, when he sends, you screenshot and keep it somewhere in the archives. In case one day the story change, you present your defense and say, CEO, I beg, who sent this message and to whom, on what occasion? Do you understand? Because you want to be able to save yourself and you don't want to be the one that is responsible for destroying someone else's marriage. So what should you do? stay away from that person. Stay completely away from him. Because you guys are somewhat related, you might not be able to entirely block all channels of communication. You guys might see at a mutual family members event, a homecoming or something, but then maintain your distance. I wanted to say maintain your professional distance. You know how to do that professional friendship. Hi, how are you today? Oh, wow. So good to see you. How's everything? Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. But it doesn't pass there. It doesn't pass there. Oh. It does not pass there. Let me see you in the corner 1 minute. God forbid, it's not me and you. Escort me. Let's go and pick somebody from. I'm not going with you. I'm not trying. Any opportunity for two of you to have two aside, just avoid it. Guess what? You might be lucky that your sister will find that out by herself and treat the matter by herself without you even going ahead to tell her. So basically, my answer for that is please don't tell her. Find other ways to manage it. Okay, somebody might say, but I'm living in their house. That one is now tricky. Because if you're living in the house, it could really put you in a terrible situation. So the first thing is, if there are options, if there are other people you could go stay with, please leave the house and go somewhere else. And if your sister is asking you why you feel like you want to go somewhere else, just tell her personal reasons. If she's a sharp girl, she's supposed to get the code. Just say, it's personal reasons. I don't know, but she should get the code. That this is my sister that likes me so much, and we are cool together. Why does she not want to stay with me anymore? Is something else making her uncomfortable in this house? But it's not your mouth that you go and used to say that until see what thing happen, because you really don't want to be the one that is spoiling things in somebody's marriage. Okay. I see a question there. Yeah. I think I missed one question. Yeah, someone says, you think it's best to keep it away from your sister. Yeah. Sometimes you don't know what you want until you see it. I guess that was for the other point. Okay. Exactly. Someone says you're definitely not the only one he's hitting on. Exactly. Now, you see, he's doing this not because you're very beautiful, or not because, don't be deceived. He's doing this because that is who he is. He's just indisciplined. I tell people again and again that people cheat because it is who they are. It's their own indiscipline. It's not because of any external or heterogeneous reason. No, it's who they are. People cheat because they are indisciplined. It's their own indiscipline. They should not put it on you. It's not because you wear short skirt in the house. It's a lie. But meanwhile, if you're in his house, why are you wearing short skirt? I say if he's that kind of person, you see. So basically just find a way to avoid him without reporting him to his wife, who is your sister, so that you don't destroy their marriage. Somebody says something. Let me read this. He should find out if they... Oh, okay, this was about the previous question. Okay, I've passed there. Let me just read it. He should find out if the girlfriend's friend feels the same way about him. Hoping both parties are mature, he should discuss it with the girlfriend before dating her friend, because they can't hide it from her for long. That is so true. But practically end one before you get into another one. Okay, and end it well before getting into another. Someone says you don't know what you want until you see it. Don't worry, I'll treat this point another day. Okay. The question I'll even ask is, are you sure you even know what you want? But till then. Okay, so again, avoid him like a plague. Yes, that's that one that is pursuing his wife's sister. Please avoid him like a plague. Oh. All right, run away. Yeah, where things are happening, that's so true. Oh my God, it's already time. Oh, wow. I try to keep these sessions within 1 hour, so that, but it's been a very, very interactive and very great time with you. I'm happy we had this conversation. Please, let's continue these conversations next week, Wednesday, same time, 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Okay. And then on Telegram, on the Single and Ready group on Telegram, we'll be having Q&A next week, Thursday by 9 p.m. So please, thank you for participating. I hope this was a good use of your time. I hope you learned one or two things. Please share the word. Please help somebody out there. Let's save somebody's relationship. Let's save somebody from a lifetime of depression and crisis by helping them make the right decisions as per love, relationship, and marriage. Thank you so much. See you again next week.